hell was that?
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2025 shark horror film Beast of War. The film is written and directed by Kia Roche-Turner and it stars Mark Cole-Smith, Joel Nakavis, Sam Delish, Lee Tiger Haley and Sam Paranson. Right, okay. The film is set during the Second World War. It is Australian. We meet a group of soldiers who are going through their training in order to join the war. Soon after that, they are then sent on a ship to their location where they're going to fight. And the ship is sunk basically by the Japanese Air Force, and the few survivors that are left kind of build themselves a makeshift raft out of what they can find from the wreckage, and then they try and figure out a plan of how they are going to get out of this alive. How are they going to be rescued? What are they going to do? However, that's the least of their problems, because there is a 20-plus foot great white shark that is stalking them. And at every given opportunity, it strikes in order to terrorize and feast on the wounded Australian soldiers. Right, what are my thoughts on Beast of War? Well, 2025, I think, has been a really strong year for shark films. That I haven't said for quite a while, if ever, while I've been reviewing films on this channel. Usually we get a lot of shark films every year. I review a lot of them on this channel. Most of them are bang average at best, and there's very few that kind of stick in the memory. However, we have had a pretty strong year this year. We've had Fear Below, which I thought was pretty decent. Then we had Dangerous Animals, which was the serial killer one that came out a few months ago, that I thought again was very, very good. And then we had this, and I remember seeing the trailer for this a few weeks ago and thinking, oh my god, this looks absolutely brutal. And obviously it says at the beginning this is based on true events. Again, I don't know how true that is. It seems very similar to the Indianapolis story, you know, that gets told in Jaws, what is actually a true story, where, you know, the ship was sunk, they went in the water, and the sharks basically ate most of the survivors. So it's very reminiscent of that. And honestly, when you're watching this, it is a very, very tense watch, this. And I think what the film does right here, what a lot of films do wrong in this genre, is we are given an opportunity to get to know these young soldiers, because we meet them as they're doing the training at the beginning of the film. We get to know the personalities of quite a few of them. You might not like some of them. There's one in particular that's a bit of an arse. There's one who's very courageous. There's one who's quite wimpy, I suppose. I don't know how you describe them, but they've all got their own like kind of personalities, and they're all, you know, quite a tight knit unit. So generally speaking, when these handful of survivors are on this makeshift raft, you generally know them. You know, they're already wounded, some of them, because of the the ship being sunk. And to make matters worse, the last thing you want when you're wounded and you're bleeding is for that blood to go in the water, because it's just, you know, sending the shark into a frenzy. So you're kind of there with them, and when this shark strikes, it is pretty bloody brutal. They don't hold back. You know, there's a decent budget here, and the shark looks absolutely horrendous, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It looks vicious. It looks evil. and it just strikes at a moment's notice. And it is, there's limbs getting chopped off and eaten, and it's really savage stuff. But it's not constant, so you'll get scenes where you've got the shark doing what it does, and then you've got scenes of these guys figuring out, okay, what are we going to do? What's our next thing to do to survive here? And then making it even worse than that is they're starting to get attacked by Japanese Air Force again. So there's literally everything working against them from surviving this. And it works really well. You know what I mean? It kind of keeps you really invested in this film and in these characters. And I was, every time any of them started going anywhere near the water for whatever reason, you just, your heart's in your mouth a little bit. You're kind of like, oh God, and then it gets to the point where they're dehydrated, they're hallucinating, they're in really no fit state to fight anything, including sharks that are, trying to hunt them down and kill them. So it's a real tale of like the human spirit and what it takes to survive, and what humans are capable of in order to survive. What depth some of them will lower themselves to. What heroic acts people are capable of. And there are a lot of scenes here, shark related, that are absolutely going to have you on the edge of your seat. If you're a fan of shark films, I think you're going to be very, very happy with this one. I was. I just thought it was just so well made, and you really are on board with these characters' plight, and the performances are all incredibly strong here by these young actors. You really do kind of hang on there every kind of act that they come up with, any plan that they come up with, whether it's right, we need to get over to that raft over there because there looks like there's an engine there, or oh look over there, does that look like a toolbox, we can use that, and and you're kind of like, oh God, what are they going to do, how are they going to get there? You know what I mean? This shark is literally giving them no time to breathe here, no time to figure out a plan. Very, very well done, I think, this shark film. This is what I think a good shark film can be if the effort's put in. There's a good budget here. It feels very polished. It's got well-written characters. It's the theme it's set in, like the Second World War, is very good. And the situation that they're in, on this makeshift raft, is very believable, sort of thing. So I had a really good time with this. I thought it was well made, full of tension, plenty of shark action going on, and yeah, I think shark film fans are going to have a good time with this one. So yeah, it's been a pretty decent year for shark films this year. I can't remember there being 3 decent shark films in a 12-month period for forever, really. You know what I mean? We've been spoilt this year, which probably means that the next few are going to be absolute garbage. I hope not. We can only hope. I think the last couple of films, especially Dangerous Animals and this, have shown people out there what you kind of need to do to deliver, a very fun and watchable shark-themed horror film. So thanks for checking out this review, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button. It does help the channel. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.